everyone, welcome to my Flosstube channel, Thread the Needle. My name is Vani and I'm from Newfoundland, Canada. I'd like to welcome you back. I know I took a bit of a long break. I had a bit of a bout of the head cold and it took a while to get rid of. I was very congested and not in a good place to talk a lot. So I decided to post just a Flosstube extra where you guys got to see all my finishes. So I hope you enjoyed that. To those of you who are returning, welcome back. I've got lots to share with you. To those of you who are here for the first time, this is my Flosstube channel where I talk about all my cross stitch projects. I am exclusively a full coverage cross stitcher, and I like to talk about and share all of my journeys on all of my projects. So where to begin? It has been quite a few weeks since my last update, along with not feeling well for a few days. I was away for a little while, having a small adventure, and I'll tell you about that because it is stitching related, so that's always fun. And so let's jump right in. As always, we're going to begin with my 3 focus pieces of the year. These are 3 pieces that I have chosen to solidly kind of dedicate time to this year. So I have given myself this kind of goal of working on them at least once a week. It has been working to an extent, especially when I kind of stick to my routine, but when there's periods of times when I just find my time gets away from me, or I'm distracted, or life gets in the way, then I fall back a little bit, but I always find my way back to what I want to do, which is stitching. My first piece, as always, is Ganesha by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the finished product, what it's going to look like. And I will be posting a before picture here, but I will show you how much I have gotten done right here. So this is where I am on it right now. So I was able to complete almost all this diagonal, just a little bit left in there to finish on the diagonal. And that's what I had done there previously. So I'm almost close to finishing the full diagonal there and keep moving on. But what is really cool is Pattern Keeper, which is the app that I use to stitch from. It has a new feature in its update where it tells you where the center point is. And I kind of already knew that I was close to halfway, obviously, because, you know, Pattern Keeper tells us where we are in the project. But did you know that now Pattern Keeper also tells us where the center point is on a project? And even though it clearly tells me that I'm almost 50% done on this project, you know, because you can kind of tell, I mean, like, this is where it is, so we know I'm almost 50% done. But it now shows me that the center line, I think it was, I'll tell you exactly where the center line is. I know I saw it there when I was stitching. There you go. The center line, the horizontal center line is around here. So this is my halfway mark. So not bad. It's super exciting to know that I have almost passed the center line on this portion of the stitching. So let's move on to the next project. Get that one ready to go. All right. Next up is my cross stitch mystery Sal that I'm doing with the Cross Stitch Studio. And I'll put up a before picture, but here is where, this is the page that I'm working on currently. And let's see if we can get the light is too much. There we go. So here's where I am. Oh, You know what? This light is almost too bright. Let's bring it back here. There we go. So here's where I am. I got quite, oh, there we go. I got quite a bit done of all the confetti stitching up here and here. So we're getting there. Still a ways to go, but we now know what it's going to look like in the end because we were given a sneak peek of it, and it is going to look like a very adorable sleeping owl. So this is what the finished piece is going to look like, and this is where I am right now. Right, so still very cute. So I have a lot of way to go, but I'm still enjoying working on it very much. And then up next, we have Siamese Fighting Fish by Anita, One Stipple Two Stitch on Instagram and on Etsy. And here's what it's going to look like when completed. And I'm also close to a diagonal finish on this one as well. Here's where we are. So I like that very much. So all that's left, I think, is just a couple of more stitches within this area, and then more of the glow in the dark coloring needs to be stitched there. So that's always lots of fun. Sorry, that's my phone dinging. I should probably have put that on silent prior to now, which I will do right now. On to the next work in progress that I have. So I did manage to work a little bit on World Travel Bookshelf. For those of you who don't know, even though it is a full coverage piece done by Amy Stewart through the Heaven and Earth Designs website, it is 4 bookshelves of world travel. I am doing one shelf at a time, and here's my progress on the current shelf that I'm doing, which is of course shelf number 1. Straight threads. Okay, so here's where I am right now. I got to fill in a little bit more over here. Few stitches completed. Coming out lovely. I still thoroughly enjoy working on this one. Excuse me. My throat is still a little irritated, so talking obviously doesn't help. But I'm the kind of person, I can't stop talking. Now on to the next one. The next one, I got a little bit of work done on it. It is Autumn Owl Trio, and I managed to fit in a few stitches there. As you all know or may not know, this is the actual piece, but I'm only stitching from here down. I'm not stitching all this orange up here. And I managed to get, this is how much, I don't know why this light is not working for me today. Here's where I got to today. That's how much progress I got. A lot of orange in, and then I started working on the more of the pink of the head of the owl. So I'll put up the comparison picture here, but it's still very enjoyable. Slow going for sure, but still enjoying it thoroughly. On to my next one, which is Golden Promises. It was a UFO, an unfinished object in my WIP pile. And more recently, I decided not to have any UFOs anymore. I put all my projects into my rotation, and I now have multiple projects on the go. And on this one, you won't be able to see it because the color that I was stitching with was very, very close to white. So I was stitching in all of this area here. So here's how much I got done, and you will see that it's very similar to what was previously done with a little extra added stitches. So hopefully next time I'll be able to fill in all this area and get into the colorful stuff down here. So this is how much I've got done on Autumn Owl Trio. Nope, sorry, wrong name. Golden Promises. I'm getting them all mixed up. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see. Next, I worked on one of my favorites. It is part of the Birthstone series by Amy Stewart. I think this is my fourth. Yes, my fourth of the series of 12 Birthstones. And here's what it's going to look like. Now what I had to do was cut off a little on the edges so that the finished stitch piece size would match the size of my other finished pieces. So finished product will look a little bit different from the, I don't know what my hair is trying to do today. The finished piece will look slightly different than the finished picture, but still very lovely. Okay, you guys, we have a face. Not a full finished face, but a face, okay? Look at that. Isn't she just gorgeous? Coming out so lovely, so very lovely, and I'm thoroughly enjoying working on her, and I can't wait to, the dress and the wings is my favorite part. Then the hair is my next favorite part in all of the Birthstones. These are my favorite areas to work on because they have so much detail and the color in them is my favorite part. So every project obviously is a different color. So the variations in the blues, I get to work with all of the blues and purples available to work on in a piece. And it's so lovely. I love it. Okay, next for the month of September, Leanne and I are doing a full coverage Christmas sal, hashtag FC Christmas sal, and we decided, because I think I finished my only Christmas piece, which was the Santa piece that I was doing, and I believe she also just recently finished a Christmas piece, and we didn't have a Christmas piece in our rotation, so we decided let's start a new one. She's doing a lovely stocking. I decided to do a mini Christmas mailbox, and that is right here. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. You would think that's the sky and the snow. It's a lot of white, but it's actually not. I was surprised myself. So here's how much I've got done. You can't see anything. This lighting is horrible, horrible. It's almost too bright. There we go. So this is what I've got done right now. I think I added maybe 2 diagonals of that pinkish peach color. And so this project I have decided to do in the extreme cross-country stitching method. So far so good. I have yet to get completely bored, but I have yet to also move the Q-snap to a different area of the project. So for now it's still working as extreme cross-country. For those of you who don't know what extreme cross-country stitching is that you stitch one symbol, one color through the whole chart before you move on to the next symbol color. And so I'm going to be stitching this peachy beige color until it's no longer appears in the whole chart. So I honestly don't know how that's gonna go. It seems to be going okay for the time being. I'm sticking with it for now. I'm really curious and excited to watch it develop in this method rather than my usual, diagonal cross-country stitching where you completely finish an area before moving on to a next area, let alone having to move the Q-snap to whichever area I want to work on, but I'm still working on the same color floss. It's going to be an adventure. I'm calling it an adventure because, I want it to be fun, so we'll see where it takes me. Now, let us move on to, actually, you know what? I'm gonna move on to the silver project because my husband's not at home, and in case he catches me while I'm doing my video, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to keep this a secret from him. To be perfectly honest, I really don't. I'm gonna try my darndest, but here is a picture of my husband and I that I commissioned Heaven and Earth Designs to do so that I could convert it into cross stitch, and they did that for me. And it was in my UFO pile for ages and ages and ages, and for the longest time, I just put it away because it was just so daunting because it's such a huge piece, and it's done on 28 count, not my favorite, but I did it on 28 because otherwise it would be massive. And so I decided to do it on 28 count. And I recently picked it up again because in a few years we'll be celebrating our 25th anniversary, and I thought it would be really special to be able to complete this and gift it to him as a memory of the last 25 years. Now we're only on year 21. We just a few months ago just celebrated our 21st anniversary, so I have a few years. However, it is such a large piece. If I do not get started now and continuously stitch on it, I don't think I'll get it done. Our anniversary is in March, so I gave myself a deadline of January 31st, the January before our anniversary of our 25th anniversary, in order to give me time to get it framed, and we'll see. But the thing is, I made my calculations, and I think I'm going to be adjusting a few things because I don't know, in the picture you will see. Obviously, I won't be stitching much of the white here because the fabric that I have is already kind of marbled, so I don't have to do that, which is great. However, in the charting, around our heads and into his white shirt, there is a lot of 032 Krynic, that sparkly thread. I'm not so keen on that. One, I don't like to work with Krynic unless if it's like a small area, like I did a little bit of it on the Golden Promises, and that was fine. You know, it just added a little bit of sparkle here and there. You cannot tell at all. Shocking really. So that's one reason I don't like it, and there's a lot of it. So that's one reason. The second reason is I don't really feel like it requires that amount of sparkle. So I'm thinking of switching out to a different floss. I'm thinking about, I've heard a lot of good stuff about the DMC Diamond, so I might do that. But I am also going to kind of adjust it myself and not do it around us, because it almost feels like it's like I don't see the reason for having the sparkly around us, around our heads. In his shirt, again, I don't think it needs to have that sparkle from the Krynic, so I'm gonna get just a special thread, just not as special as Krynic. So that will cut down on the number of stitches that I need to do. I already cut away all these white stitches that I was never going to stitch, so that brought my number down a little bit, and now I'm going to get rid of the Krynic around us and do just his shirt. So it's a big undertaking, and I'm trying not to get overwhelmed because I really want to get this done now that I have my mind and my head wrapped around it. So if I calculated, without taking the Krynic out, I calculated it, and I have to get a few thousand done every month in order to get it done in time of the deadline that I gave myself. And so I've decided that now the silver project is going to be my forever daily 100 project. Starting this month of October, it's going to be my daily 100. And to be perfectly honest, I'm probably going to do a little bit more than 100 a night in order to get anywhere close to my deadline goal of finishing this project. And it will be my daily 100 project, my daily 100 plus, let's call it that. It's going to be that, as well as I think once a month on my anniversary date, I will probably pick this up and stitch on it continuously for that day, so I can add a few more in. So feeling a little overwhelmed, a little anxious, but really want to get it done, which is kind of pushing me to really work on it. All right, so after all that explanation, here's how much I've got done so far. So I'll show you the before, and now this is the after. So you can't, yeah, you can tell a little bit of the marbling, on the fabric, which is kind of cool, I have to say. But this is how much I've got done. I'm hoping to get more done. And the one good thing about it, in the area that I'm working on now, it's just a lot of shading. So it's pretty easy to get 100 or 100 plus stitches in a night. And I'm hoping that continues on throughout. I have no idea what the other pages look like. I haven't even ventured to look at them. I did already put in a little bit Krynic from before I had put it away. I think I'm going to get rid of that Krynic. I don't like it. I really don't. I'm gonna try with another type of floss, but I still don't want it around our heads. I feel like that's a little unnecessary. So that's where I am right now with this, and I'll show you the before picture that I had. I only had like something like that. So I'm doing okay for now, touch wood, and we will just see how it goes. Worst case, I give it to them for their 26th anniversary. That'll be okay, right? All right. Now, my daily 100 project for, I'm gonna push that away so you can't see it yet because I got exciting stuff to talk about. My daily 100 project for September was the mini Little Dreamers tree by Heaven Earth Designs, and here's what it is. Okay, this is what it is. And I am working all the way at the very top, okay? I didn't have very much left. I think I didn't have very much left. Not likely. I didn't have very much done. And I only had like the top 2 columns or something like that done. And I feel like I need to do like a big reveal because this was one of my most successful daily 100 projects. Like, I'm not even joking. Okay, here. Can I try and hide that? Okay, so this is how much I had done prior to using it as my daily 100 for the month of September. You guys, are you ready? Look how much I got done. It was such a productive daily 100 project. I thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of confetti, as you can tell by the trees and the branches and the flowers and the leaves and everything that's in that tree, but it was so worth it. And I'm so super happy that I got this much done using it as my daily 100. Very happy with the progress on it. That is, I would say, I definitely didn't stitch on it every day. I would guesstimate that it is definitely over 2,000 stitches added, but not 3,000 as it would be if I had stitched on it every day of the month of September. So let's just guess and say it's around 2,500 stitches that were added to it. I know I can probably tell you the exact number. I got it, in my notebook somewhere. But however, the end result is the best kind. I absolutely think that it was so worth it to have this as my daily 100. Now, to let you know a little bit about my adventure that I had, we had a stitching retreat that I had a lovely chance to partake and join. It's actually, most of the people that were there are actually knitters and crocheters, and I was one of the few cross stitchers that was able to attend. It was held in a lovely little town, about an hour and a half. If your traffic is bad, it takes about an hour and a half to get there. If traffic is good, about an hour and 15 minutes out of town to get there. And it was such a lovely weekend. It was really nice to get together with like-minded people who kind of understand and enjoy the love you have for a craft that you're doing. And it was, doubly special that I was one of the only cross stitchers there, and I was able to share what I was doing. So then my plan was, I was like, do I really need a new start? Is the answer ever no to that question? I don't believe so. And so I asked myself, well, what do I want to do? I don't want to add another full piece to my repertoire because I already have so many pieces that I'm working on and so many pieces that I want to see progress on. I can't do this to myself. However, it was my first retreat and I really wanted something to kind of commemorate or be like a memory of my time there, because it was such a lovely weekend spending with those ladies and learning new things and having these experiences, having those late night chats with a few of them, and it was just really, really nice. So what's a girl to do? I had to start something new, and I totally did not mean that to rhyme, but that was pretty cool. So I decided I wanted to have a piece that I could, every time I looked at it, I could remember my time at the retreat. However, I knew that I didn't want to add another huge piece to my work in progress rotation. So I decided to pick a piece that I could kind of divide up into sections so that every year that I went, I would work on another section. So the piece that I decided to do is called Mini Meditation by Heaven and Earth Designs. And you guys, the colors in this are beyond beautiful. Okay, so this is the piece that I decided to do. It is a large piece. It is 325 by 325. Now, I had already decided I'm not doing the whole piece. What I wanted to do was a mosaic tile stained glass method feel to the piece. So I decided to divide that into sections, and every year that I go, I do a certain number of sections, and then afterwards I can kind of backstitch the year so I know these sections I worked on in this year. So I decided to do, you can't see it, I decided to do this to that piece, and this year I'm going to do this one, and this one. So this is how I separated up the design, and this is what I decided to do. So all those lines will be done in black, and then I'm going to do a black outline. So I obviously didn't finish it because I already told you how much I like to talk. So there was a lot of talking happening, but there was a lot of stitching happening as well. So here is how much I got done. The colors are just so lovely. So this is the corner, and then you'll notice I'm going to do this section and this section. So this is not an urgent thing that has to be done and added to my rotation. I think I'm just going to work on it every time I get in the mood and add a few hundred stitches here and there until I get the sections completed that I wanted to represent this year's retreat. And I just need to get it done by the next time we go to the next retreat. So that one was so much fun. And the colors were so enjoyable. A lot of the new DMC colors were included in it. So here's what it looks like up close. Just really colorful and joyful to stitch on. Just so much fun. So this is how much I got done in that one weekend. So I had so much fun, you guys. And it's, I don't know, I really wanted something to kind of give me a memory of the time there. And so I'm happy that I was able to pick something that I could, because I've always wanted to do this idea too, where you kind of do like this mosaic tile stained glass window effect. And so I'm hoping that the end result kind of works out the way that I have it in my head, as opposed to what it might actually turn out to be, a little messy piece of cross stitch. But I think either way, I think I'll be happy with it because it was so much fun to go away, get away from the family. Although I will admit, it took me a few hours to turn off my mom brain and I have to look after the family brain and kind of realize that it was me time and it was time for me to do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, because the whole weekend was for me. And so that was a really enjoyable experience. So if you ever get the chance to go to one of these retreats, I highly recommend it. It was beyond fun. And so that is my update for this Flosstube episode, you guys. I hope you really enjoyed all of my updates, and I hope you come back to the next one. So if you like what you see, stick around and stay in touch for more videos. You can always like and subscribe, and maybe click the bell to get some more notifications every time I post something up. I am trying to get back into the swing of things. I want to put up another Stitch With Me video. Things have just not kind of happened and clicked the last couple of weeks and months. I'm hoping to get back into a more routine, more so to actually just stitch rather than trying to concentrate on getting things done for a reason. I just want to stitch because it just makes me so happy. And that's what I'm here for. And I hope you guys are here for that too. And I hope you enjoyed my video today and all of my progress that I was able to share with you. It has been a wonderful, wonderful chat. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, night, afternoon, wherever you are. Have a wonderful time. Happy stitching. Bye now.